Hi, and welcome to Think Tank Thursday with TrainerTainment. I'm Denise Killian, and we appreciate you being here to join us today. We're going to be talking about something that's pretty important, and that is the thing that none of us really like to think about, but it's essential for our business, and it's repair and maintenance for your laser tag equipment. And we're going to be joined by none other than Shane Zimmerman with Delta Strike. But before we join Shane, we're going to first thank our sponsors. We appreciate them and everything that they do to help make Think Tank Thursday happen. So it's Thursday, you know the drill. We like to take some time away from the day-to-day operations and talk about issues and opportunities for all of us in the FAC industry. And as I mentioned before, today we're joined with Shane Zimmerman and Delta Strike. So let's get right to it and talk about all of the repair and maintenance costs that will come with your laser tag equipment. Shane, welcome back to Think Tank Thursday. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys putting the time and effort in to teach the world all of your secrets.
Oh, well, it starts with you. So today we're going to talk about repair and maintenance of your laser tag facility. But first, for the people that don't know you and aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is the most important thing you've learned in your 13-year career with Delta Strike?
You're hitting me with the ending questions first this time, and that
A
doesn't
little
seem
bit,
fair.
a
But
little bit, a
okay,
little bit.
all right, that's fine. So I'm Shane. I'm with Delta Strike. So we are a manufacturer of laser tag equipment and other amusement attractions. I have been with Delta Strike for 13 years, as you said. And before that, I ran the Laser Tag Trade Association, and I also worked in facilities. So started when I was 14, as I think I've mentioned on other episodes of Think Tank. So yeah, I'm a laser tag lifer. Let's see, the what have I learned in the past 13 years? I think the most important lesson I've learned, which isn't I don't think it's an unusual lesson, but I think it takes some time to learn it, is surround yourself with better people than you. Um, when we started Delta Strike, when Delta Strike wanted to come to the U.S. market and they brought me on, it was just me for the first couple years, and then slowly but surely, we added on people, and now we're like a real life company, and we have like a full staff and stuff. But I've been very fortunate to work around people that are far more talented and far smarter than me, and it's really just changed the culture and the dynamic of the company. And yeah, I'm very proud to be a part of that team.
Oh, that's great. I love that. And it's so true. Always look for people that are gonna you can learn from, that you can grow with, that are open to sharing and helping you grow, and you can help them grow. But yeah, surround yourself with better people. I love it.
Yep, yep,
All right. Okay, so let's talk about repair and maintenance. So you've got your laser tag. It's fabulous, like everything.
yep.
No matter it's your car, your computer, your phone, there's gonna be some repair and maintenance that's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people it's we're basically what laser tag equipment is 24 laptop computers running around your lobby in the hands of the most destructive force on earth, and that's a 14-year-old boy. And anybody that has a 14-year-old boy or has been around a 14-year-old boy knows that that's very true. If it can be broken, they're going to try to break it. And the equipment is meant to withstand a lot of abuse. But at the end of the day, there will be some repairs. And it's important that we talk about that, and we make sure that you as an operator have a good expectation before you get into this of what that's going to look like. And then once we talk about it, I don't think it's nearly as scary as some people think. It's
Right.
relatively straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first thing, and this is something that when you talk to people who focus on your games, your arcades, your bowling center, or laser tag, you need to have someone on your team that knows how to work with the equipment.
100%. You could not be more right. So one of the main pitfalls that I see in different facilities is people will say, "Yeah, I got Joe. He comes in after school and does our repairs and maintenance." And I was like, "Oh, okay. He comes in after school. Is he college kid? What going back to school? What is it?" No, no. He's like a sophomore in high school, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Yes. On the surface, Joe can do the repairs. Joe can pop a piece out and put a new piece in, no problem. What Joe probably is going to struggle with as a father of a sophomore and junior in high school who are amazing humans, but what they struggle with is autonomy. Joe is probably not going to come in every Monday and go, "Oh, I should probably be doing a parts inventory today because I need to get my parts order in today so that way it ships out and it's to me by Wednesday so I can do the repairs on Thursday to then have all the equipment up for Friday." Joe hasn't thought about that, and unless you have that diamond in the rough, and if you do, congratulations. Hold on to him, love him, pay him, $1 million. I don't know, but um, I believe the facilities that do it the best, they at least allocate some portion of the scheduling and the proactive portion of R&M to a more tenured employee, somebody that has that forethought, or can see, can look in the crystal ball and say, if we don't do this, then this is going to be the snowball effect come Friday. And so having somebody that is there to do the inventory and make sure you have the parts and then delegate, you, Joe can 100% do the repairs. It's everything's plug and play. So, oh, my screen broke. Great, you pop it out, you put a new one in, and it's back up and going. It's very straightforward. But having somebody that's dedicated to making sure that the logistics portion is handled and somebody's focusing on it is very important.
Well, and that's the when you look at the down the road and not just the immediacy, that's essential for
Mhm.
any aspect of your business. And so often we get stuck in the head down day to day. Let's get through today. Let's get through this week. You're
Yeah,
not looking at the bigger picture. And having somebody who can do that with, do we have enough things on hand?
yeah,
Um, or did we order too many of those things?
uh,
How long does it take to get if we have to do an order? Um, could we have ordered this before and not have to pay the overnight and more expensive shipping costs, right? Like
right.
those things all
Yeah.
come into play to keep your repair and maintenance manageable because even if you've got 20 vests and three of them are down, what's the cost of that being down for 2 weeks?
So, what a great question, right? What is the cost of a vest being down? So, in family entertainment, we make 80% of our revenue from Friday at 6 to Sunday at 10, right? And so we just a few weeks ago, we were doing this exercise and we were going in and we were looking at gameplays during that time period and then equating them to a dollar amount. And every laser tag vest should be generating, a typical store will generate $300 to $500 per vest per weekend. And so if you have one vest out of service, now I'll also say you should have a couple of spare vests, so that are above your capacity. Um, but if you are taking away volume, then you are going to cost yourself $300 to $500 every weekend. So it makes it very important to have those parts back, make sure that you have everything ready to go. Um, in most situations, so for instance, shameless plug here for Delta Strike, you never have to send a vest back. All the repairs are done on site. Again, it's all plug and play. So the idea is if a vest goes down, if you have a body available to do the repair, that vest is back up and going in 10 minutes. So you're able to minimize that downtime, which I think is obviously, from the dollar amount, it's important to be able to get them back up and in service.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you start to take a step back and see that bigger picture, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, so what I pay someone to be the full-time tech who's
Hmm.
dedicated to making sure that all of our stuff is up and running, and we're getting that $300 to $500 per vest every
Yeah.
weekend, more than pays for itself, and then some by having that dedicated person.
Yeah, and when I say dedicated, I want to be clear. You don't need a 40-hour employee
Right.
to do it, but your bowling tech should have it on their to-do list. Your game tech. This should. So many times, for some reason, laser tag gets thrown over to the high school kid when we have qualified technicians that do the bowling, do the games, do everything. I don't know why the laser tag doesn't fall under their purview as well, but
Yeah.
um, and I think a lot of it is it's kind of a self-inflicted wound from the laser tag manufacturers, and I'm talking broadly, not just Delta Strike, but the laser tag industry has done such a good job at increasing the reliability of the equipment that now repair and maintenance shouldn't take more than 1 hour per week. And I throw 1 hour out there because if I say, oh, it takes 15 minutes a week, then nobody pays any attention to it and it snowballs. But
Right.
even at 1 hour, it kind of flies under the radar. And so then people don't dedicate any time. And then you know, they look at it and they say, oh, well, now, I have six vests down. That's because we didn't do anything for 6 weeks. And so, but I think we almost created our own little problem here by making the equipment so user friendly and
It's
so
too
easy. So
reliable.
yeah, that it's just like, oh yeah, we forgot to spend that 15 minutes. I'll do it next. How many 15-minute tasks do we all have stacked up right now? Right? So I think laser tag maintenance, falls into that 15-minute, I'll get to it next week problem sometimes.
So, and one of the things that I think is great is talking about all of the repairs are pretty, they can be done easily and quickly, but you've got to make sure you've got the right parts at
Yep.
hand to do that.
Yeah. So if we expand in on what you said, making sure you have the right parts, making sure that you don't have too many parts, all of those are costly mistakes, right? So when you get your laser tag system delivered, you'll have a large stockpile of spare parts. And again, I'm just speaking strictly from a Delta Strike perspective. I'm not an expert on the spare parts requirements of every system out there, but we give a spare parts kit of about 200 parts. It seems excessive. It is excessive, and it's intentionally excessive because there's no expiration date on electronic components. So you overstock them, and then once a month we have an inventory app. So people will go in and they say, okay, time to do my laser tag inventory. It'll pull up a picture of a part. They count how many they have, and then they go through the 60 or so spare parts. I'm sorry, 60 was with the previous generation. The new system has about 25 different spare parts that you'll stock. And so you'll type in how many you have, and at the end, it'll pull up a list and say, this is your recommended order. Do you want to place the order? You either hit submit or you can say, no, I think I feel like, we're going to use, I don't know, more of this part or, something seems to, need more. You can override it and then you can place your order. And so we try to help make sure that you
It
have
does the
enough.
work for you. That's fabulous.
Yeah. And
But
I
somebody has
heard
to open the app and look at it, right?
100%. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to count it. Somebody can't just go, "Yep, I think I have two. I think I have three. I think I have one." that's the person part of it, right? And we all know that all the technology in the world, all the tools, all the resources will never override the person, the people part of it, right?
Right.
And they need good training, which I know a company that could help with that.
Who could that be?
Yeah,
So yeah, so you get we need to make sure we have a dedicated tech person. That because we all know when everyone is responsible, no one is,
right.
and things
Yep.
get overlooked, things get missed. You don't look at the parts and inventory parts for 6, 7, 8 weeks, and then you're out of everything. And then what are we gonna do? And right, like that can
Yeah.
happen. So
Yep.
having someone who's dedicated and who's trained and knows what to do and how to do is pretty essential. What is the timeline for your equipment?
So, are we talking like total longevity, or
Yeah,
when we say the timeline?
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So typically speaking, and I'm going to hit the old "it depends" answer here, but look at it like miles on a car, right? If it's all wear and tear. And so if you are a location that is doing, 15,000 plays a month, which we have a number of sites that are doing those, your equipment is the equivalent of an over the road salesperson that's driving 40,000 miles a year in a car, right? It's not going to last as long, but it's all relative. If you're doing 15,000 plays a month, you're a site that probably got your ROI in the first, 4 to 6 months. So you're going to have to reinvest in that equipment more often. But the typical facility should be looking at about a 7 year lifespan. I tell people that in year 6, you should start budgeting to upgrade that equipment in year 7. And I think that the 5 to 7 year mark is where most people will start to start looking at upgrading equipment, not only because the equipment in theory could be maintained for, I mean, years and years and years. We have locations that are on years 10 and 11. Because everything is a modular part, yes, you can take that same car with 400,000 miles on it. You can put a new engine in it. You can put a new door on or whatever. I'm not a car person, but you can replace everything that goes wrong. The real question is, when does the downtime, when do the headaches, and does the cost override the investment? And I think normally in that 7-ish year range, it is probably where we see it. Um, the PIA factor overrides just upgrading the equipment.
Well, and to continue the car analogy, this is not the people using the car are not vintage car collectors that are
Right,
making sure it is stored in only the most optimal temperatures and only
right,
driven during these, therefore, you're looking at 14 to 25-year-old people who are just there to intentionally have fun, and they're
right.
not going to be caring so much about uh
Yeah.
putting a ding in the car as
Right.
a
Yeah. And, again, the equipment is 100% designed for that.
yeah.
However, we need to also keep in mind that, you know, it really also boils down to, um, if we're continuing that car analogy, you're making money on this product and you're providing a guest experience. So not only does the equipment, need need more TLC, the older it gets, as with everything. But look at the technology cycle. 5 to 7 years, technology advances a lot and culture changes a lot. 5 years ago, social media and TikTok, like those things weren't nearly as pervasive as what they are now. If we go back 10 years ago, I think the first iPhone came out like 12 years ago now. So
Yeah.
if you look at these cycles, our previous generation of equipment, it had, the old scoreboard LCD, a bunch of eights, and we just filled in what the eights were. And, now you need, so technology, it's R&M, yes, that's an important piece of it. However, 5 to 7 years, technology advances dramatically, and so the capabilities of the electronics need to advance along with it to continue to provide a relevant game experience.
Absolutely. Okay, so overall cost for R&M, what are you looking at budgeting?
Yeah, so we tell people, well, after your warranty period, right? So all equipment comes with a warranty. It'll vary from 1 year to 2 years. We're a 2 year company. But after that, I think people should be budgeting about 2% for RNM. We typically see it, I like it to be below 2%. We normally see it about 1.5%. But again, when we're looking at budgets, rather put it in for 2% and then hit 1.5% and high five everybody and talk about how great,
Right.
right? And so, yeah, I think putting in a 2% annual budget, I would probably escalate it about a quarter point year over year. Um, just knowing that, everything needs a little more TLC, as it gets a little bit older.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Shane, tell me, how can people get in touch with you?
So they could always find me through the various communication channels at Delta Strike. So deltastrike.com, easy one, a ton of information on there. If you're looking to get into the business, there's a bunch of free resources on there and our knowledge base on starting up laser tag or retrofitting laser tag. You could always shoot me an email, Shane at deltastrike.com, or my direct line is 463-203-0695. All of which are welcome. Even if you just have questions, if you're not even one of our clients and you just say, hey, I got a question about procedures, or, what do you do for this? Like, how are you marketing? We really believe like a good quality laser tag experience helps everybody. And so customer, not customer, you hit us up. We'll help any way we can. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out.
All right, perfect. Okay,
Wait, do I
time
get
for,
another hard question? That was two.
you're good.
All right.
You're,
All right. All right. All right.
this is why we keep coming to you because you
Uh,
are good,
we'll channel our inner touchy feely side twice. Okay. All right.
Okay, so um when you are working with the customers that you work with, and some you've touched on this several times, and I just want to talk about it a little bit more on the partnerships. How does Delta Strike and you develop from that just transactional space of you want this, I have this service, give me money, here it is, right? That just basic transactionalness to developing the relationships and the partnership with your customers.
Oh man, this is my favorite part of my job. Um, yes, we have a product. But I spend 99% of my time not selling our product. Because that is so far down the path of everything that leads up to it that it's we get there eventually, but that's like the last conversation. Everything else is about what it is that is the right fit for your business. And um so my favorite part of any of this is having an understanding that there's real people behind the laser tag. That $300 to $500 a weekend. When I think about it, it's not $300 to $500 for, you know, I don't know, for, X customer. it is $300 to $500 for, for Shannon and Donovan. It is $300 to $500, out of, I know that there's college funds and mortgages, and there are people that have laid it all out on the line for this investment. So many people are getting out of corporate America, and starting to open up a fun business. And my favorite part is learning their stories, understanding, and then if you carry those friendships through, ultimately it's about, the sales happen because there's no world where I don't step up for those people, for your friends. And so I don't know. I think it's a lot of loyalty towards people and their businesses, and an understanding of, what they've laid on the line to get there.
Zig Ziglar, I think, said if you help enough people get what they need and want,
Yep.
you'll get
Yep.
everything that you need. Right?
Zig
It's
Ziglar.
about the people
Yep.
first.
Yeah. 100%. And yeah. So real quick on that, sorry if I can.
Yes.
So this year, as a company, I might have mentioned this in one of our previous think tanks, but we as a team, I have the fortune of like meeting all these people up front, and hearing their stories. But then afterwards, then there's a whole support team, and everybody else that right off the bat hasn't developed the same relationships over the 6 months to 3 years that are in the planning process. But this year we had everybody read Unreasonable Hospitality. I don't know if you guys have read that, but
Yes.
that's been our mantra for the year, to transition the whole team culture to that unreasonable hospitality. And just having our team, and this is where we talk about the blessing of having a great team around us, but having our team not only have that unreasonable hospitality, but that sense of ownership in our customers' businesses. That is the key, I think, to good service, is when our entire team looks at things not based on a set of policies and procedures, but based upon what can we do better to help our customers' business. Yeah. And I think that's what this whole year's been, which has been a really exciting thing for me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's about when you can be vested in their success, and their success and their growth is your success, but it's about helping them, and that's at the forefront. Yeah. That's great. Shane, thank you. I appreciate it.
No, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in to learn a little bit about a not so fun topic.
We tried to make it a little fun.
Yeah. So thank you guys, everybody.
Thanks again to Shane Zimmerman with Delta Strike. Always such great information, and I love learning every time I get to talk to Shane. We want to also thank our sponsors for helping to make Think Tank Thursday possible each and every week. We appreciate them for being with us and supporting us and helping us bring you information that hopefully makes you think, makes you challenge what you're currently doing in your operation and what could you do better and how could you grow. Here at TrainerTainment, we're all about growth. So if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to grow your people, you're ready to grow your business, reach out to us at TrainerTainment.net, and we'd love to schedule a growth call. Until then, we'll see you back here next week.